Hi, Fran. Right, let's get into this first round. Okay, so you've taken the cue on board pretty good there. The one talking about trying to get the shoulders back, but got a little too far. Okay, so when you're in this position here, okay, you can see basically like the main sort of weight of the shoulder and the scapula in particular are behind where the bar is. Okay, so that is always going to be off balance. And the way you deal with this is the hips rise up, the chest falls down, that brings the scapula and shoulders forward to then rebalance out the equation. Okay, so you start here. So let's just quickly draw this one out. So starting here before the bar moves, and then by the time, okay, so the bar's just left the floor, and now we're in this totally different position. Okay, so you can see this is what we've kind of fallen into. Now both of these, now the shoulder's way out in front of the bar, whereas before it was too far behind the bar. So it's about kind of that finding that middle ground between the two, and that's where pulling that slack out the bar gets super important, because you get a better feel for kind of balance and where you're at here. So this there, okay, this is where you've just kind of shifted your weight around. So you started lower and you've just kind of naturally, your body has just kind of like kicked you up into that position. Okay, and that's kind of what we're looking for a little more of. Okay, so this is a good position. Shoulders just over the bar, just a little bit, not crazy. Okay, but it's well balanced, bit of tension in the hamstrings, and the actual pull is quite straight from there. So a little too far back, then you get dragged forward. Okay, so you can see it's too far. It is a little bit too far back. Okay, and your body just doesn't know how to balance the equation really. Okay, and you just kind of get dragged forward and over a little bit. Pulling the shoulders down nicely. Okay, so actually the best one of that one was that last rep, because I think it's just taking you a few reps to kind of find out where your balancing point is and then go from there. Good, very good. So this isn't too bad actually. Shoulders still a little over the bar, okay, but so I would like to see you kind of more here, okay, just hips up that a little bit higher and build up that quite a bit of tension through here, through the hamstring. So knees back a tiny bit, and just again, you just build up that tension. Yeah. So again, it's just a little too far over, and you end up getting dragged over by the weight of the bar. Okay, because the thing is with deadlifts, it's not hard for the bar to weigh more than you do. Yeah, you're always going to be a slightly higher hipped puller. You're naturally going to leave your hips up a little higher and have your back a little more, perpendicular to the floor. Yeah, for you it's about taking that slack out the bar. Okay, so it's just again on those ones, even if you do get the positioning of the hips and positioning of the shoulders ever so slightly wrong, the taking the slack out the bar gives you something to kind of pull against, and you can kind of get used to the feeling of the bar rather than having to pull and then all of a sudden you kind of realize that it's broken the floor about an inch, and then you've realized that you're a little too far over. Okay, wrists looking a little too narrow on this one. Okay, so we want it, even with that narrower grip on these, narrow grip close bench, you still want the wrist stacked up on top of the elbow. Okay, maybe a tad inside there. Just on this one, it just looks like you're quite a little bit inside, and that just over time could cause a little bit of wrist aggravation. So you can go a little wider. It hasn't got to be like narrow grip, you know. Okay, and we've got to be a bit more obvious and a bit more forceful with the breathing. Okay, you should be in that bottom position, shoulders down, back, big breath in through the mouth, tense your tummy as hard as you can. Okay, as if someone was going to kind of hit you in the tummy. That's going to be super important. But this is a much better set of deadlifts. Yeah, much better set. Yeah, you're pushing into the floor a lot better on these as well. Okay, you're actually using your quads to push into the platform, then get the back involved, rather than trying to get the back involved basically from the ground up. Much better on those. Okay, that kind of set there is more what we're looking for. Good. So coming forward a little bit on that one. Okay, so remember what I talked about the other day about the paper being on the platform and turning the paper out? So you just keep that tension on the outside of the hip the whole way through. And if you can keep that on, they're going to pull you down into that squat position. Yeah, so just that little bit of knee cave. Nothing crazy. It's just always remembering to try keep that tension on the outside of the shoe. Twist the foot out. Get the hips doing some work. So again, the reminder with that one, imagine the platform's made of paper. And once your feet are in the correct position and you're ready to go, they cannot move, but you're trying to turn onto the outside of your shoe. And again, Metcons are perfect for this because they're so grippy. You can almost like twist. So the two tiles you're stood on here. Okay, imagine you were trying to just like turn those out. Okay, split the make a gap down that middle line there. Good, nicely timed on that one. Yeah, nice, nicely timed. Not jolting forward at any point. The legs are just doing a lot of work. Okay, so I'm hoping these squats now that you're doing, you're actually feeling it in the legs a lot more than you were before, because whereas before you were kind of relying on a bit of mechanical kind of like bounce, like just body on body, you know what I mean, like bones kind of almost like squashing on top of each other, just the muscle kind of, you know, helping soften the blow, whereas now your muscles are controlling both ends of the movement. They're okay. It's good. The squat's going to take a while. The squat is going to be one that is going to be the most uncomfortable. But I got your message saying you're eating lots, and the squats are still feeling tough. So this is it. This is part of the process. Again, it's just I think the reason you're working yourself up an appetite is you're actually using the muscles a hell of a lot more. So breathing again, super important. You've got to breathe on the bench as well, okay? When you're in that top position, nice deep breath, okay? As the bar's coming down, you're trying to push your chest up and up and up. Chest always as high as possible, okay? Trying to meet the bar at its highest point. Pause and go. Yeah, okay. So I think next week what we'll do, Fran, is we'll start looking at introducing some cues for the bench press and the bench press setup. As far as the bench has gone, I've kind of just let you get under and just get some volume in there. But now I think we can start introducing a couple of cues and a couple of things that you can do to start just kind of solidifying a good shoulder position, okay, and a good arch position, so that that bar is and its consistency over and over and over again. Because the squat, I think we're getting there. It's just one of those that's just going to take its time. So now I think we can start. Excuse me. I think we can start introducing a few things for the bench. Overall, though, not bad. That second set of deadlifts she sent over, the pause deadlifts, were the much better set of the two. Hips were up at an angle where you felt like the most tension. So a good thing to do, okay, is if you're wondering kind of where that is, walk up to the bar, soft bend in the knees, then push your bum back as far as you can, okay, as if you're doing an RDL. As soon as you feel like you've got the most tension through there, okay, kind of pay attention to where your hips are. Then from there, all you're doing is just bending the knees and just lowering yourself down whilst keeping the hips back where they were in that same position. Okay, so not the best on this webcam. Excuse the bed as well, I'm putting the washing away. So walk up to the bar, soft knees, push the hips back. Now for me, it's probably about here where I really start to feel that tension through the hamstrings. From there, I'm keeping my hips back here, but just lowering myself down towards the bar, okay? And this will be my deadlift starting position, okay? Rather than just like hips back and find the rest of the range through the upper back and round over, okay? Soft knees, push back, okay? Right, I feel like I've got the kind of the maximum tension through the back here. Straight down, turn the knees onto the inside of the forearms, and then you'll be good to go from there, okay? So more of the same, really. You've been filling in the program perfectly. And then, like I said, we'll start introducing some things for the bench this week upcoming. Okay. Any questions, as always, Fran, let me know. Good stuff.